Welcome back to the Ultimate Deck Show. Wade Laurent, Shane Chapman here today. We've had a little bit of a hiatus. I feel like we start a lot of these shows like this. It's like we record a bunch of them and then we pause for a little bit. But we're back at it here because we've been missing. Yeah, because it's been busy. Super busy. But we are back to discuss the Timbertech lineup for 2020.
Yeah. That's important to do.
Yeah, good.
It's a great lineup.
It is a great lineup. And I've been dreading this episode a little bit because people get on our case about how long these are sometimes. And this is a big lineup.
Mostly
and so, yeah. And so it's like there's no way to make this one short. If we're going to go through all the colors, it's going to be a long episode. So once again, have we done a Deck Shop Shorts on this already? I think we have, correct? Not posted?
Out.
It's up. So if you don't want to sit through the next 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes of us rambling on about Timbertech's colors and all the in-depth detail, then go find the Deck Shop Shorts video. Can you tag these? You can put it here somewhere, and it's a short version of this. 3 minutes maybe, give or take, and you can kind of get the basics out of that time. So don't get on our case about how long this video is. It's called the show for a reason, not the 30-second spot. This is not called the Ultimate Deck 30-second spot. Deck Shop Shorts.
I was like, you should call it
shorter.
You should call it Deck Shop Shorts. That'd be way easier. Rolls off the tongue a lot better than the 30-second show.
Great news, there is that, and it's up, and it's got 1.4 million views right now. So it's the more popular one.
Does it really?
Yeah, because he posted it last night.
What?
This shows you how often he looks at our own YouTube channel. Next to never.
Never.
No, it doesn't have 1.4 million
I thought it was like the
views.
statistics you were rattling off from the podcast.
Probably got 14 views, but close enough. Okay, let's get after this. So Timbertech is a gigantic brand of composite decking, and they also a few years back merged with a company called Azek that produced PVC decking. And so now under one umbrella, you've got these two types of maintenance-free, low-maintenance decking. And then they went through a bit of a rebranding process again last year and kind of brought everything under the Timbertech banner. So instead of saying Timbertech is our composite, Azek is our PVC, now it's all under Timbertech. Mm-hmm. But they've confusingly kept in the Azek branding here and there, and then they released some other brands within brands.
Yeah.
Within brands and then colors. And so
I think it's like a hierarchy.
Super simple.
It just makes more sense this way.
Sure, yeah.
Timbertech, bold, then brands down.
Yeah, okay. Well.
Lines down.
Yeah, so anyway, now, and then a couple years ago, they staggered their warranties too, right? So they decided to, across their...
Yeah, so then it goes like this.
So they've got, like, Timbertech is the halo brand of all this stuff, right? Then they split it into 3 subcategories of decking.
Yep.
The Edge line.
Yep.
The Pro line.
Yep.
And the Azek line. And then within each of those sub-brands, there's more sub-brands.
Yep.
The difference between the reason for the Edge, Pro, and Azek is because the makeup of those boards is unique in each category. So the Edge is a wood plastic composite without a back cap on it. So it's capped top and side, not the back of the board. That's what Edge products do. Now, somebody might comment who's been in the business for a bit and been like, I've had them and they are capped all 4 sides. And that's apparently true. The ones we have here are true. Not apparently, we have them. But that's apparently because they ran through some Edge product to catch up on production through the terrain extruders that caps all sides. Right. So don't expect that your boards are always going to be capped all sides, but you might get some that are.
Okay.
Edge is not supposed to be capped on the backside.
Okay.
The Pro line products are capped all sides. Full wrap all the way around the board, through the groove, everything. Full protection. The Azek line is their PVC decking.
Okay.
So that's the distinction between the 3 brands.
Okay.
Let's start with the Edge line, which is the lowest price point. It's their entry-level board, great board. This is your job, Vanna. Here we go. Now the Edge line, to make things a little bit more confusing, has a couple different brands within it, the Prime and the Premier lines. And so I don't know if this is completely true, but it's kind of split between US and Canada a little bit. We have the Prime line up here. Oh boy. Prime line is what we have up here, I believe.
Yes.
And so that is 2 colors. The first one we're going to show you here is dark teak. And so
it says right
this is, look at that, hey? It's like they knew we were going to do this. They put it on the back side of the board so that we'd know.
You can use the other camera.
I don't want to use the other camera, Bryce.
Okay.
Fine.
He's going to use the other camera.
I'm going to put this here in front of the other camera now. So this is dark teak. Now,
just like at home, you compromised.
Yeah, I compromised and just used the camera he wanted, right? The Edge Prime Collection is actually surprisingly quite durable compared to other leading brands.
Like this Yeti mug
Yeah.
from Azek.
I got a plastic one.
Man.
So you win some, you lose some.
Like you lost yours.
Like, I didn't lose it. I take very good care of that. I use the snot out of that thing. So if anybody at Timbertech wants to send us more of those, I'm starting a collection. And I actually would like bigger ones.
Like the 20 ouncer.
So let's get off track here a little bit, because that's what the show is about. This is what we like to do. This is what really ticks people off, is when we get away from the decking and start talking about nonsense, and then they make comments like, get to the point.
Yeti cups.
Those are great cups. However, they don't hold as much liquid as it looks like they do. That holds a cup of coffee, a mug of coffee out of my cupboard.
I think you drink different sizes of coffee than most people. Anybody that has ever spent any amount of time around you knows that you drink more coffee than the average Joe.
Yeah, that might be true, but it doesn't erase the fact that if you buy like a large or extra large coffee from Tim Hortons or Starbucks,
I would argue that most people buy medium or large, not large or extra
only the
large.
weak ones. No.
I just need some more coffee.
It doesn't fit into there. But I've also taken just the mugs I use at home, which are just a normal size coffee mug, and made a cup and poured it into that, and it fills it up. And it looks like it wouldn't fill that up, but it does. So
16 ounces.
if Timbertech has the 30-ounce ones, I'm not saying no. That's all I'm saying.
Just want to get some
That
stuff done.
I wouldn't say no. Because I got into a bad habit of bringing 2 of those every day. I was bringing like 2 coffees.
Yep.
Like, this is my now coffee and this is my later coffee.
Yep.
But the Yetis, they work so well, it keeps it hot all day. So anyway, now that people are really fired up. Edge Prime boards. 2 colors in this lineup within the Prime collection, which is the one you're going to find in Canada. And so dark teak is the first one. It's like a nice dark gray. There's no variegation. Very durable to scratching. More so than some of the boards that cost more than them even in Timbertech's lineup. So they're a very impressive entry-level product. I don't want to throw price points because it'll be different everywhere, but this is the closest to treated wood pricing you're going to get from a Timbertech board. Now this is scalloped, and so we're going to show that here. This profile is scalloped. You got the 3 scallops that run through the back of the board. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with doing that. That's how the good brands maintain a lower cost on these boards, is by removing some of the material out of that. Not removing, but just extruding it with those voids in the deck there.
Less material, less cost.
It's fine. It's strong. So dark teak is the first entry into that. Now, I said I was going to keep my phone on the table so I could reference colors that we don't have here.
You get a lot of messages on there.
So next one is going to be also Prime Collection. So this is Maritime Gray. This is a popular one in our market because of the color. It's a neutral gray color. Very fine hair-like embossing on these ones.
Yes.
You don't get those distinctive knots or whatever, which is not a bad thing because any board that has knots in it, generally you see that repeat somewhere. These ones don't appear to have a repeating pattern because it's all very just linear graining. So nice board again, just as durable, same
Looks
scalloping.
fantastic.
Yeah,
I think that cap is one of the most durable caps in any line.
Yeah.
Of any composite.
Yes, it is. It's quite good. Like for an entry-level board, you're getting a very durable board out of that. And usually with a lot of brands, that's kind of what you're not getting at the entry-level price point.
Yeah.
With a lot of brands, it's like, how does the entry-level one compare with the highest price point one? It's like durability is one of the things you're losing. But in their case, not the case.
Right.
So it's good.
Yeah.
Now, the Premier collection that you're going to find in the States, I'm going to have to look these up because we don't have the pieces.
There they are.
2 of the colors are the same. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that these ones are not scalloped in the States, but they might be a little bit thinner of a board. I may be wrong on that, but I believe that's the case.
That's what I think I heard too.
So you're going to get those 2 colors, the Maritime Gray and the Dark Teak, but you're also going to get a couple other colors called Tidal Sand, which is kind of a tanny, beigey color.
Is it really close to their
Sandy birch? Similar, I would say similar family to Sandy birch. And then Beechwood Gray, which is another gray, and I don't know how they compare. I think it's more of a kind of a lighter, kind of like a dirtier gray maybe. I'm just looking at the picture here and it's hard to tell.
Like a browner gray?
Maybe.
Instead of a bluer gray?
Possibly.
Yeah. If you will.
So Beechwood Gray and Tidal Sand, if you're in the US of A, you're going to have those options as well. If you're in Canada,
Scroll up. Yeah.
much like most of our lives, we have to give up a little to get a lot up here. And this was the sacrifice. Now, great boards if you want a little bit of coloring because these are just solid colors.
Yep.
They are not interesting from a color perspective. They're just solid colors, which is what you'd expect out of the entry-level boards from anybody.
That's okay.
But they did come out this year with the Prime Plus collection. So now we're at the Timbertech Edge Prime Plus Sea Salt Gray. I love this board. I think this one's fantastic.
Yep.
So
I've just started to, like, not that I've just started to quote it, but for some reason it has just started to jog in my memory again.
Yeah, and I've been going to this board and showing people the wall again, and it's like every time I go to it, I was like, this is actually probably what I think personally is likely the nicest gray color in this price point. Like I show them some boards from the other brands, and it's like, this one's very popular, this one's very popular, this one's very popular. And oh yeah, there's this one here too. And then I get to it and I'm like, that's the nicest one.
Yeah, so it's super durable. It's a really great color. I like that the streaking isn't overpowering. It's not like it's there with hints of streaks in it, which is how you want that to be, I think.
Yeah.
Personally, the part that's tough is this is all like subjective, right? It's like some people really like that. Some people really like the aggressive streaking.
Sure, but I think this is a nicer streaking in it than, say, Timbertech Silver Maple, which is in a line we're going to talk about shortly here, because it's a lot more kind of like blotchy and it's just kind of it's just black blotches and streaks running through it, and it looks great too. It used to be our best-selling board.
Yeah.
But this one has a lot more, not just kind of blotches of black streaking. It's got different levels of streaking.
Yeah.
Like there's some dark streaks and some lighter gray streaks and some, like there's lots going on in there.
Yeah.
But it's not obnoxious.
Yep.
So I think these are
length
fantastic.
of this show.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Did I say 30 or 40 minutes? That's cute.
This is an hour and a half.
We're through, they've got, what, 38 boards.
I'm already
38
exhausted.
colors. Now this one's great too. This is the other half of the Prime Plus collection called Coconut Husk, very unique color. Yellowy brown color. Again, that same beautiful streaking that you see in the Sea Salt Gray. This isn't gonna be for everybody, but it's really nice. I like this one a lot.
So
we just don't sell a lot of browns
I was
here.
pretty torn about it or unsure of that color, and then we put it in the showroom in Saskatoon. And
It turns out I don't even like drinking out of those ones. I just poured that all over myself.
You should.
Like the mouth hole's even wrong.
Bah.
How do you save money by making a different mouth hole? That shouldn't be.
It was incredible. As soon as it was installed in the Saskatoon showroom, then I was like, whoa, you know what? That actually is a really nice color. So
It's
on the
great,
sample,
yeah.
I was like, man, that color's not for me. But
Yeah. No, I really like it.
whole display, turns out the color's for me.
Timbertech Edge Plus. So that rounds out the Timbertech Edge line. So to review, scallop boards, 3-side wrap, not wrapped on the back typically. Very durable boards, very linear streaking.
Did those ones have the wrap on the back or not? The last
They
two
did,
you
yeah.
saw?
Yeah.
Both of them did?
Well, because these samples were run off early when they were still doing that,
Right.
right? So they
Shoot.
do have the cap on the back, but they're not supposed to. What we should do is go check our inventory of this stuff and see if it does, because it's not supposed to.
Or samples even.
And I suspect that it's probably not capped on the back in our inventory.
Anyways, I was just wondering if we could show that, but okay. All good.
We
Moving
cannot. Next up is the Terrain line. Now the Terrain line used to be their lowest cost entry-level board before the Edge line was released last year.
Yep.
And so it was, I believe that the Edge line is a better product as an entry-level board than Terrain was when it was the entry-level board.
If they were priced the exact same, I would tell people that the Edge board is better.
Yeah, exactly. But they're not priced the exact same. Terrain is a more expensive board
Because of the cap on the back
because of the back cap. And so now you've got this justice scale here of been like, what do you value more? The color and the back cap of what Timbertech Terrain offers, or the durability and the colors of the Edge line? Because Terrain costs more, but if you don't think that your deck, your situation is going to take advantage of the fact that it has a back cap, then these are more durable. Like we've scratched both of them. One of the weaknesses of the Terrain line before these ever came out, we always said it's like the scratch is a little bit easy.
Yep.
That's the kind of the knock on it. Then these come out at a lower price point, and we're like, oh yeah, let's see about this. Took screws with the other brands and edge boards.
Because that's what people do. They come to your house and they take the screw out of their pocket and they're like, how's your
Yeah,
composite?
just before they get punched in the neck. That usually is the sequence that plays out in. Surprisingly, they held up better than anybody's boards. And it was like, this doesn't make sense. These are less money than Terrain, but more durable? What? So anyways, get them up.
But if you were at a dock, okay, fine. I was going to make
Yeah,
this
so
really
if you need the back cap, fine, maybe you want to pay more for this. It does have a grippier texture to it. There is
certainly
that,
has
right?
better traction.
So this is sandy birch, and we're back to solid colors. This is going to be a bit more money than the Train line. This will probably be comparable. The solid colors from Train are probably comparable to the streaky colors from the Edge line.
Yeah, that's likely a really good.
Pretty close in
Yep.
price, right? But you're giving up the extra coloring, you're getting the back cap.
Yep.
I don't know if back cap's the right word for that, but it sure flows out of my mouth a lot, really smoothly. Sandy birch, this is a bit of a unique color. So not everybody has a color like this. You do see this in a product like Trex Rope Swing is very similar in color, but at twice the price. So this is a good lower level price point with this kind of, I don't know what you call this, like a clay kind of tanny color to it. It's
taupe.
It's good. It's always sold quite well. Taupe.
I'd go
That's
with
actually
taupe.
probably the best one. Yeah, taupe. So same exact scalloping as the Edge
Nailed
line.
it. Solving problems.
Same profile, just has the back cap. Rougher texture. This probably has one of the best tractions of most of the composites, of the big brands of composites, this line.
Yep.
At the expense of being a little bit easy to knock down that embossing and show a scratch.
I'd give you that.
Good, because I'm taking it.
Here we go.
I'm going to try a drink again and see what
I'll
happens.
block the camera so they don't see you spilling yourself.
Come up for air after that one. Now, here's Stone Ash. This is from the Train collection as well. The Train collection has 3 solid colors, 2 variegated colors. And so here's Stone Ash. It airs on the side of blue a little bit, this one. It's
Correct.
like a neutral to bluish, almost like a greenish undertone to it. I find this one a little bit. Ooh. But definitely more of the colder undertone rather than that brownish undertone.
Yep.
So good looking board, same thing, same profile, same back cap as Sandy Birch. And finally in that lineup is Rustic Elm. This is your dark brown entry. Looks fantastic.
Are we talking about warranties at any point, or are we just going to do
We
that?
should, absolutely. We should probably have that conversation.
Sure.
People might be wondering.
If there's anybody left, they will be.
Yeah, so I believe that with the Edge, not I believe, with the Edge line it's 25 years. I'm just going to like show a gigantic lack of confidence in everything I say today. This one is Rustic
Which is the opposite of the
Elm
podcast.
Yeah. And so 25 years on the Edge line, and when you go up, so they have their warranties tiered.
It's on the back of the board. Flip the board.
This one's 30, but these might be old.
No, it's right here.
Okay, 30 years
Oh,
on the
they're brand
Train
new.
collection.
They're 2 foot for the store.
Oh, these are new samples. Good.
Yeah.
So 30 years on these collection. This goes quite well with the Sandy Birch we showed before. If you're looking for kind of a contrast in
Do you
color.
want to do that on
I
this
don't. No, because it's buried now. Okay.
It's not that buried. If you can't manage boards properly, hand them over.
Oh, zing. There's those 2 colors together, Sandy Birch and Rustic Elm.
That's
So-
why people tune into the show, because they want to see the pairings. That's
Sure,
why.
fine. You win.
It's not for your sense of humor, that's for sure.
I'm not used to being on the other end of these jokes.
They're fun, right?
It's a good time. Okay, so let's get to the last 2 in the Train line. These are the variegated colors. So we've got brown oak here. It's a good looking board. And here's what I was talking about before with the blotchy streaking. So it's much more calm in the Edge line.
Yeah, I was
Prime
like,
Plus line.
nothing calm about that one.
Yeah, this one's just kind of like, you get some blotchiness like that. Most of the board's gonna look like this, where it's a little bit more subtle, but you're gonna get some of these big black blotches in there too. And yeah, so if you're after that same profile as ones before, just now you're getting the coloring added in, and there'll be an upcharge for that in your market.
Yeah. No pairings again.
Oh my goodness.
Watch your fingers.
Oh my God, he's in X Games mode. What did you want to pair? What did you want to pair? These 2 together?
Yeah, and then the Sandy
Rustic
Birch
Elm?
one too.
With this?
Yeah,
That's how we had our old showroom, hey?
Yeah, that's right.
So Rustic Elm Brown Oak, if you want to
That's a common.
do a little something there.
That's
and
really
then
common.
if you wanted this, you could do that too. If
That
you want
one's-
to do something there.
I didn't believe in that one initially, but then we did it in the showroom and it was like, oh,
It actually looked pretty
Look
good.
at
Yeah. I wasn't a believer either before, but Tony Robbins will do that to you. Anyway, let's get rid of the obscure references and
final
like, what's the
board.
tie-in with that? Silver maple. Now this one was a rocket, right? This one doesn't show
word.
that big blotchy streaking, but you got some subtle streaking in there. This one for years was our #1 selling board. It's really dropped off with the addition of like the sea salt grays or like the fiber on beach houses, and there's been more lower cost boards with the variegation come into market in the last few years, and so that's made a big dent in this.
Yeah.
But this used to be our #1 selling board.
because Yeah, we sort of put it up against Island Mist, right? And so same thing. It was a really expensive board met with something very comparable in color, cheaper line. So
Yeah. Do you want to pair that with anything? I don't think it pairs well with the other ones. We generally used to pair this with a dark gray, but sometimes not from Timbertech. But
Not from Timbertech.
Looks well with the dark gray.
yeah, we paired it with a few other guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I'm trying to get these things stacked. It's Jenga over here all day long, and so we may have to play some of that as well. Next
Just
up.
wave to the fence.
Oh, okay. Next up is the. So did I mention that this is in the Pro line?
Nope.
Terrain is in the Pro line.
You've left all kinds of
Means
stuff out.
all capped, right? And 30-year warranty. And so next up is going to be the Reserve collection. Now this one's brand new. So if you are doing some research and you come across a collection called the Tropical Collection,
Yeah.
no more.
Nope.
It's gone. It's like it's. Yeah, it wasn't. It's look. He's got a couple samples. We want to show them anyway.
Yeah, we might as well because somebody
we
brought
had
one
some
in
people.
the other day.
Yeah, exactly. We had somebody come back this year. Was like, we're ready to go on our deck. We didn't pull the trigger last year, but we're ready to go, and we're doing Amazon Mist. And we're like, oh, bad news.
No, you're not.
Bad news.
Not today.
No. Is it gone? It is gone.
But that's for the better.
Well, shoot. Now we have to come down and look again. Sure. Zing, hey? You're just
If
having
you
none
have-
of anybody.
Listen, if you followed along with Wade and the Tropical Line collection, there is no confusion.
You weren't a fan.
Not from
So they had
ever.
4 colors in it. They were all kind of unique colors. There was like an orangey one, a reddy one, a bluey one, etc. But and like a yellowy one.
And then there was 2 that were the same color and almost the same name.
Right. Yeah. Antigua Gold and Antique Palm. Blech.
And you
So
could
this
never
is
know
gone.
which was
This
what.
is gone. But if you're still hanging on to some of those colors I just mentioned, Caribbean Redwood, Antigua Gold, Antique Palm, and Amazon Mist, those are gone now. You may find the odd board sitting around at a lumberyard somewhere and get a discount deal on it, but you won't find it in
And
any new stock.
here's the thing: if you can get a discount deal on it, take the deal. There's nothing wrong with the board.
Right.
The boards are good.
Unless you need more.
They're a little more slippery than the Terrain line.
Crap, these mugs are no good.
They scratch
I
a
don't
little
like
bit
irritates me
easier.
even drinking from it.
But if you find a smoking deal on Tropical Line, fill your boots.
It's a good quality board. You just like it is what it is. It's gone, so let's not give it any more time. We waited for this moment for years for it to go away, and then it went away, and now we
keep talking
bringing
about it.
sexy back. Now it's been replaced, and not at the same price point. This is a much more expensive board.
This is the
Reserve
sample
collection.
that Bryce couldn't find a smaller sample of.
This is going to be probably a buck a linear foot more in the States to go to the Reserve collection from what the Tropicals was.
Everybody's getting picked on today.
Maybe a bit more. But what did you say?
I said Bryce couldn't find a smaller sample of that, so we'll just have to use this one.
Oh, yeah. So, unfortunately, the distributors in Canada don't stock this color that we buy from, and so we didn't get the big wall samples for it. We just got these small little ones. But there's 4 colors in this line. It's a 30-year warranty on the Pro line again. This is still in the Pro collection, which means cap all sides. It's not, however, scalloped. Full thickness board you're getting now with this. Durable cap on it. This is intended to compete with everybody's high-end boards. This is a high-end board.
It is a high-end board.
Tropical was a bit of a mid-tier price point. This is just like flat-out high-tier price point. 30-year warranty on stain, fade, structural. So and looks great. Like the embossing on this, the coloring on this.
So do you
much
remember
nicer
when we
than-
saw that the first time?
Put that there. Too bad we didn't have more of those. Hey, we could have done like a few of those in a row, like caterpillar style, human caterpillar.
We saw
Centipede, human centipede, not caterpillar. Caterpillar.
Same thing.
Okay.
So we saw it in where?
Baltimore
Baltimore.
Deck Expo last year.
Yeah.
And
it was a really good. I was really excited about that cap when we first saw it. They were like, "Tropical is leaving and Reserve is coming in. What do you think?" And it's like, I think you nailed it.
made a good decision. And so I think at that time we didn't know that these were going to be different price points. We thought they were going to be kind of like a straight across, and it was like, oh, this will be way better. And then it came out, and it's actually quite a bit more than the Tropical was. So that's not ideal, but it is what it is.
But we
it's
were
like
also the
justified
guys-
in its price. It's a high-end board.
Yeah, we were also the guys who were like, "Don't put anything in the mid price point. Nobody buys mid price point. It's like you either can afford it or you can't afford it."
Then
And
they
so-
took away the mid-price point. We're like, what are you doing? Come on, everybody. What are you doing here?
They should have talked to somebody. It was like, well, we did. All right. This is a really nice one, too.
That's just the back you're looking at. Just
Oh.
wait till you see the front of this board here. This one's actually, look at that, eh? This is looking good, people. Speaking of coffees, this is called Dark Roast. This one. It looks, look at, I got a shadow on there. So same solid cap, same line, subtle black streaking. I just like the embossing more on this. That's probably more than anything. I had no issue with the color of the tropical lines. Like they were a bit like polarizing. They weren't, it was like a really bluish gray and really red. I think the colors are much nicer in this line, but what I really like is the embossing on it.
Agreed. Cap's way better.
Dark Roast.
Dark roast is nice. You want to leave it up there? No, I wouldn't worry about that.
I did. Yeah, I could because it would look great with this one. Look at this one. Antique leather. Now, this one you can really see the multiple color streaking, right? You got some dark, you got some light yellow. Very good looking board. I will bring this back.
How close is that to cocoanut husk?
It's very similar in color palette, yeah.
Oh yeah, do that.
Those two together?
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
Now I want to do that on my deck.
Yeah, okay. But, like, you are a victim of our store. Too many options. I had a guy tell me that today. He's like, you know what the problem is here, Shane? You got too many options. I know.
Yeah, you should. And then you said, you should try stocking them all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up, we have one more gray one, right?
Last one.
Now, this one's a good one. I like this one quite a bit. This is called Driftwood. So this is in that very trendy dirty grays, as I call them.
Yeah.
I'm bringing dirty grays. What? So this one here is gray
Do you think we have
with
to like,
dirt on it.
pay a royalty on that because it was so close?
Yeah.
Was it close enough? It's going to get picked up in YouTube's auto filtering for songs?
Nope.
Oh.
Take it down.
So this is Driftwood, I said, and so it's very popular right now, at least in Canada, with these grays that are kind of like have that brownish undertone to them, that tanniness to them. And you're seeing it from Fibron, you're seeing it from one of Trex's new boards. You've had it for years in Timbertech's PVC line, the Azek line, with Coastline. You have it with Wolf. Like everybody's got an entry into that right now, decorators, and they sell like hotcakes. The color is very popular. Look at this. Are you kidding me? I thought we turned that off. Technical production of this show is shot. I did, and I don't know how to use it. I'm better at deck boards than at phone things. Great board, on to the next.
It's just a ringer.
Oh, okay.
All right.
After Reserve Collection, we're still within the Pro line. It's the Legacy line. And so Legacy was their highest end board, and still is from a price point perspective in their wood plastic composites.
Bryce, what's happening here? Why do we have just these?
Look at you got a Legacy right
That's
there.
all that you had downstairs.
Oh boy, have we shorted ourselves a bunch of boards here? So Legacy's claim to fame, or their value prop, I guess, is in the coloring
on the wall downstairs?
and the texturing. Which ones? So first up here, what do we got? Mocha is.
Well, we're gonna have to make a change.
We're gonna put these together. You want it? Mocha, pecan.
I'm just being very efficient.
Oh, so there's a couple more colors we don't have here.
No, we do. So we have.
Well, keep them coming then. Let's do it all.
We have.
I can't do them all. I can do two at a time.
We can do full samples of a couple.
Okay, so pecan.
And short samples.
We talked about this before. Is it pecan or pecan? We've had this conversation.
It's
before.
pecan.
Pecan and mocha. And so both brown entries, they look great together. You can see it in the camera here how it's got that like wavy texture to it, that hand-scraped hardwood finish. That's what they want you to notice about these ones. The coloring is fantastic because they use multiple pellets to color these things. So it's not just like it's just black in it. There's like multiple colors streaking through it on top of a really nice base color. And so if you're somebody who wants something that feels a little bit smoother on the foot, but has some texture to it, like the little dips and grooves, the carving, this is an amazing product for touch and feel. Right? It's touch and feely day. So those two are great, and then we've got, this is cool, whitewash cedar. This is a very unique board. Not many people have a white board. This is very close to a white with some streaking in it. There's some tanny, browny, gray streaking in it. It's really cool.
We had a customer come in today and was looking for a white deck board, so that's what they went home with.
Yeah, and this in our heat test stays cooler than in pretty much anything, obviously, because it's white. Yeah, it's grade 3 chemistry. Do you take chemistry in grade 3?
I didn't, but...
Is it even
7?
chemistry?
7?
Yeah.
Is it chemistry?
I think in grade 3 I was working on addition and
science
subtraction.
class? So
maybe some countries.
As a lighter color, it's going to not get
chemistry.
as hot. Beside it, we have the espresso color, and that's going to get hotter, right? It's a dark, this is almost like a brownie gray, dark brownie gray.
Yeah, it's pretty black.
But it looks pretty good with all the other colors, right? We could bring these ones back, and it actually looks good with them as well. If you want to pair those together, and you could probably even put mocha in there as well.
Yep.
So very friendly line that likes to play with each other a little bit. So those are great. And then we've got probably the most easy. We're talking deck boards here. People
just keep
talking
going.
deck
Don't
boards.
slow down.
This one's called Ashwood, and it's like that. It's very popular in our market because of the gray nature to it, but it does have a little bit of that brownie streaking to it as well. Nothing about these lines are neutral, right? Like no neutral grays. Like everything's like grayish brown, brownie, yellow.
Really good.
And Tigerwood. So this one's popular in some markets. Now this sample's a little bit more yellow than you find them to be sometimes. It's got some harsh streaking there as well, but this one looks good too.
So, do you have any knocks on that line,
Nice
on the legacy
veining,
line?
yeah.
If you had to talk any?
Scratches show up pretty easy on it. Like there's a lot of business happening there, but it's because of the smooth surface. If it does get scratched up or scuffed a little bit, you see it a little bit easier than you would on something that had a deeper embossing. to it.
Yeah, and
This is very smooth embossing.
my other,
Little slick maybe.
so it's a little slippery. It scratches a bit easy, and then I find that the Cortex don't fit in there very well
Cortex is a little bit more of a challenge with it because
of the embossment.
yeah.
Because it's hand scraped, so it has a texture on top, and so the plug doesn't fit in perfectly.
You got to be a little bit pickier when you're putting your plugs in to make sure you're.
Yeah, and we had a customer actually tell us that. Ken was in, and he did his whole front deck in Ashwood, and he's doing the back now, and he was just like, I'm not sure if I'm going to use the Cortex in the back. He thought he might just go to a color match screw.
Right.
Because he was like, I paid a little more for the Cortex, and it's not that great.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, not only do you have to pay mine to matching up the graining and matching up the color because there's a lot of color variation, you also have to, on this board, have to pay attention to like the elevation changes of the grooves of the board, of the scraping of the boards. So
tricky.
that is one thing to note, I guess, if you're going to do that. So, did we just battery out?
Yeah.
Do we need to kill some time here? How long ago did that happen?
I don't know.
Come on.
One job.
One job. Hey?
One job.
Couple jobs. 3 jobs. What do you want us doing right now? Are we just going to fake it to make it? Or are you going to cut this together?
You can keep talking.
You want us just
Do you want us to talk at a volume where the camera
You want us to start over?
No.
How long ago did that die?
I have no idea.
This is real life happening right now, folks. Real life. It's a good thing you had backup batteries. Maybe we would have changed those before
They were full.
next one. No,
We didn't talk
there's
so
no
long that
way.
we killed all those
This has been
batteries.
long and this has been dumb, but not that long and dumb. Okay, let's go to the next line. So we're done with the wood plastic composites. Now, I guess just to touch on that a little bit more, the wood plastic composites are, I said that weird.
R?
Our
Yeah, they're not O-U-R, they're A-R-E.
A-R-E. They are. What was I even going to go with there?
You were talking about
This
the
is the
makeup
stuff
of them.
that pees people off right here. This is the stuff. We should just keep doing this. They are composed of wood fiber, wood flour, and polyethylene recycled plastic blended in and capped. That's the difference between that and the Azek line, which is straight PVC, no wood filler in it, different type of plastic, polyvinyl chloride. And they're made a little bit differently. The end result to you is similar, right? You end up with it. What?
No, it's not that similar.
I mean, once it's installed in your deck, it's pretty similar. You'll get better traction out of your PVC products
Well,
for
it's
sure.
like if you carried it over there, you would have a very different.
The PVCs are lighter. Yeah, they do screw a bit easier. They expand and contract a little bit more. So there are differences. I just mean to the end user, the homeowner, if they're not installing it themselves, they just like paid for a deck, got a deck. They walk out on it. They don't know the difference.
Well, they'd be a little lighter in the pocket with the PVC.
Maybe, yeah. But Legacy's more expensive than like Harvest Line or whatever. Like so. Anyway, so let's get on to you go ahead and I'll wait. And then if you want to fire up some Azek
My
boards.
coffee's still hot. How's
Yeah,
yours?
nope. No fault to the mug though. I put it in late. It got cold in the McDonald's cup.
All right. Where do you want to start?
With at this point, just with anything, you
Arbor or Harvest?
hand me whatever you want.
Arbor.
So Azek line,
Harvest.
this is going to bump you up to a 50-year warranty now, and
Harvest.
lifetime structural, 50-year fade and stain, and lifetime structural warranty on these. And it's a very good warranty too. It doesn't depreciate as fast as some other brands. So
I feel like there was other lines to this.
now you've got the Harvest collection and the Arbor collection,
Yeah.
which I kind of lumped together. The difference being you're going to get a little bit of streaking in the Harvest collection. And so there's some nice colors in here. We've got autumn chestnut here and island oak. We can show these together, like put these two together. So Island Oak and Autumn Chestnut here. So nice embossing to them. You do have much better traction on these than you will on any of the composite boards. So those ones are good. Then you've got, what do you got there? Kona. Kona's a little bit tougher to find. Not going to find this one as easily. But Kona is kind of a purplish reddish color a little bit.
It's like Purple Heart.
You know, I find myself wanting to zip through these really fast because of how good the next line is.
Fine.
So anyway, on this one, what we got? Brazilian walnut and acacia. So again, same kind of thing. You got some variegation in it. I'm excited for vintage line.
These two. A harvest collection as well.
Sure. So these all got recategorized, by the way. And so now I think it's the Arbor collection that's actually the non-variegated. I think the distinction now is one's non-variegated and the other ones are. So these are harvest collection being non-variegated. These are brownstone and slate gray. And so no variegation in them, like I just mentioned. Just a solid kind of gray and then back to that taupey
like a
color
porch
again.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Painted
then,
board look, right?
I can't remember what I said. If I messed that up before, Arbor was the ones we looked at before with the variegation in them.
Yes.
And these are the harvest collection with the non-variegation in them.
So there's two in the harvest, right? There's a harvest with variegation and harvest plain.
Well, they rejig them, and I believe that they rejig them so that the ones that are in this line in harvest don't have any streaking color to them. Kona is now like these are
mislabeled.
No, these ones are still correct. The other ones are mislabeled. They say harvest, but they're moved to Arbor collection.
Oh
this year.
yeah. Our last
So just to make things more confusing, because there's not enough brands and everything else,
Right.
we moved
So
them within brands.
If you were able to follow along with that, great.
Anyways,
Send us an email so that I
this
can.
tower over here is getting dangerously close to crashing, and it's going to be fantastic when it happens. Now, the reason I kind of wanted to skip fast through the Arbor and Harvest collections, and they're for no reason other than how good these boards are, because they're fine. Maybe let's show the end of that board.
Fine like when your wife says fine?
Yeah.
Or different?
No, I just think that like if you're going to spend that money on
golfing.
the Azek, get the pretty stuff, and this stuff is so good. So we mentioned before it's the full thickness board. We mentioned before there's no wood fiber in that. So you can no, I don't. Well, I thought it'd be like too close to really do it properly there. Oh.
Those are not wood grains, those are saw blades.
X game mode. I'll do this one because I can get closer. But you can see there's no wood fiber in the cap. You see little pockets of air. That's the cellular foam. It's like cellular PVC in that board. So there's no wood in there. No rotting can happen with these. They're just plastic. So this one's called Cypress. This is part of the vintage collection. Now you're going to get that 50-year warranty, like I said, and a limited lifetime in the structural.
Yeah.
Cypress, beautiful looking board. If you're looking for something that replicates real hardwood, vintage collection is it. This has got to be some of the most realistic looking decking, like maintenance-free decking boards out there.
Yep.
You lay down a piece of actual, like, maybe not Ipe, but something with a more linear hair.
So like the
grain.
mahogany and red balau?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And it's a dead ringer for it. So Cypress is a bit more orangey. Let's bring this one in with it. Mahogany. This is probably the most realistic one.
Yep.
But these two work well together if you want. But look at the coloring in that and how realistic it looks. It's a very linear, fine, hair-like graining to it. No knots because the hardwood isn't going to display that.
Correct. Like the
and
tropical
some
hardwoods.
subtle changes in color like real wood would have.
Yep.
Not just a big black blotch. It's like very realistic
They nailed
coloring.
it.
Very realistic texture. Everything about it's very realistic. It's awesome. This vintage line it's the bee's knees. Murder hornets. It's the murder hornet knees.
No, those are over. We're done with those.
This one's called Weathered Teak, a little bit of a...
This might be one of my favorites.
Maybe a little bit more of like an aged hardwood look. One that's kind of lost a bit of its color and it's on its way to gray. Well, it's called Weathered
Like my hair?
Teak. Yeah, well, you're maybe a little bit closer to coastline. Maybe the next color. But this one, very, very cool coloring on it. Love it. Weathered Teak, it's meant to look like teak that's aged a little bit. It's gonna go. That stack's gonna go.
Why don't you fix that? Put it somewhere else.
I don't want to.
It's gonna
Proud
fall,
of my accomplishments here.
break the light,
Break the light.
right? And then we're gonna have to buy new lights.
English walnut. Now this one's obviously very realistic as well. It's all like a dark,
I like it.
chocolatey
This is a
brown.
newer
some
color
nice
for them.
subtle coloring.
Right.
Well, not like it's been out for a
Faster.
couple of years, but it wasn't part of the initial release of Vintage line.
Correct.
So I think the first go they released 4 colors, and then they added 2 more later, and this was part of the 2 more later
a good
that
one.
came out.
Yeah.
So very nice color as well. Stack that up. How low can you go? and dark hickory. And so dark hickory is a beautiful board, and it's a dark hickory kind of looking color, I'd say. Hey, is that accurate?
It's as dark as any hickory I've ever seen.
Very dark gray. It's got a bit of like a purpley brownish undertone to it. And so because of that, it plays so well. We talked about these dirty grays before, and Coastline, arguably one of the nicest colors in the whole industry. Coastline here pairs perfectly with dark hickory.
Yeah.
And so just to give Coastline its own due here for a minute, let's put that on there, and oh, so good. Like, it's got that subtle brown streak into it, some tanny, some creamy streak into it. It's like, it's just a perfect combination of yumminess.
Unbelievable. You should write for...
Okay, if we survive this stack, then we're good.
No, you have 2 more to put on there.
No. From down there?
Where'd they go?
No. But I've got these down here. Okay, so now in addition to...
Wide
those
plank?
are all the colors.
Narrow plank?
Those are all the colors, but
Porch boards?
they've got some other options here. We're not going to go through all the available colors because they're the same for the most part, outside of like oyster and some colors in the porch boards that aren't available in the regular decking boards, but they also offer a porch board profile. And so this porch board profile is a narrow width tongue and groove application right there, right? So this actually locks into another board like that, tongue and groove style, and you pin it through the corner, and that gives you a no gap installation. Tight, right? No gapping between the boards.
It's so good.
And so if you're looking for that more traditional porch board style, 3-inch, like narrow plank, 3.5-inch narrow plank, this is going to do it for you, tongue and groove. It's not watertight. Right?
Yeah.
That's, some people are like, oh, so it drains water then. No, it will still leak water through there unless you use a drainage system.
Yep.
But just for looks, you can install it tight because there's no wood fiber in here. It doesn't require any ventilation. It's just an aesthetic thing more than anything.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to the porch
A little harder
board,
to come by in Canada.
yeah, it's not. You won't find as much up here. That's for
That's
sure.
because our distribution doesn't really support it.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Now, along with profile changes, we've also got in the vintage line anyway, and slate gray, I believe, and brownstone, or just slate gray. You might have to look this up because I don't recall. They added
Because
some
we
colors.
didn't.
Yeah. So they've released these multi-width boards, and so now instead, let's just bring one of these back so you can see for reference sake.
Can't believe you're going to touch that pile again. That's so dangerous.
Here is the
But you like to live
traditional.
dangerously.
I do. Here's the traditional 5.5-inch wide plank, and
Boring.
they've now got a 7-inch. I can't even fit it in the camera. They've now got a 7.25-inch wide plank. So if you want to use this for stairs or for picture framing or any sort of artistic modification of the deck, wider picture frame boards so you can see more of it under your railing is one application. Yes.
The post lands on the whole board as opposed to missing off the edge.
Right, so sometimes you do get a post base that's bigger than the board because of how much you're overhanging your framing, and also your
Yeah.
post kind of sits here,
Yeah.
like on 2 boards. With this one, not the case. It would sit centered in that board.
Yeah.
So for like aesthetic reasons, if somebody's OCD about that, this would give them a centered
Yep.
railing on their profile or picture frame.
It also works really well to try and reduce, like if I've seen people use that as a spine board to,
Sure.
you know, if the deck was 25 feet wide, you can use a 7-inch board, which helps get you the,
Yeah, maybe the 7-inch helps you get down to 212 foot boards instead, and a regular width board doesn't quite
Wouldn't
do
do
it or
that. Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Sure. So and they've also got the narrow board profile. So this is 3.5 inches wide. So again, compared to a standard 5.5-inch wide, you can mix and match these on your deck to create a bit of a artistic inlay or something, just to kind of change things up a little bit. And yeah, and then you got your wide board. So if we just pan through these, narrow, standard width, and wide. So you can kind of play with those different dimensions, those different colors. This isn't available in the entire lineup. Like none of the Timbertech options are available in this. This is the Azek line only, and only some colors, not every color.
Correct.
So check to see if your color is available. They're very cool. So it just allows you to be a little bit different on your deck rather than just working with the same kind of same old deck profile. Right?
Yeah.
What else? Azek, Timbertech, they've got tons of stuff in the industry. This is just the decking. They've also got railing, both aluminum, composite, PVC railing. They've got cladding, like PVC trim work that gets used on decks quite a bit as well.
and windows, like their window trims and stuff.
Yeah, they've got a ton of, like a very wide product availability and different all building materials, not just decks. They go beyond that too, siding and everything else. School lockers. They have a whole division that like makes like lockers and stuff. Like
What?
Yep, true story.
We should get some.
We should get some.
We have all of these people that work here and nowhere to put.
Maybe
their
they could
stuff.
just tuck some lockers in with the box of my new coffee cup.
Lockers, not the cup.
But we're going to focus on what we sell. And
So
we do,
they
which is
also
the deck.
have dry space.
Yes.
Which is a rain management system. Fits on the underside of the deck as opposed to the top of the deck.
Yeah.
So it's great for retrofitting.
Perfect for retrofitting, yeah.
What else? Do they have furniture?
They're getting into that kind of stuff as well. Yeah, and lighting. Like I'm sure we're missing a
Lighting.
bunch of different things. Go to timbertech.com to see their entire kind of product portfolio that they have out there. But this has been a big rundown of their deck boards. It was
How'd we
a
do?
big day. I'm sure we're like,
We have 34 colors.
34.
holy smokes. And what did we do for time? Wasted a ton of it.
No idea.
51 minutes, that thing's, but we started late. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Subscribe for more videos. Again, if you made it to the end of this and you just need a refresher someday, check out the Deck Shop Shorts version of it. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere else that we be. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.